smart TV. Submit your own content on info@millenniumnews24.com. Download the Millennium News 24 app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Stay tuned with Millennium TV and Millennium News 24 for the latest updates.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host, Jineea Butler. I'm so glad to see you. I missed you. Did you miss me around the world? Thank you so much for joining us today, and welcome to the New American Perspective here on Millennium News 24. Today we are dealing with the hard truths, uncomfortable conversations, and a nation again divided over law, protests, privilege, and accountability. From Minnesota to New York, from the pulpit to the streets, from Congress to hip hop culture, the system is being tested, and so are we. The question is not just what happened, but what do we do next, and who is being honest about it? Now, you know we're being honest about it over here on Millennium News, but who else is being honest about it? So we've got a great show for you today. We got so much to talk about, and media accountability is under fire after Don Lemon, formerly of CNN, criticized Stephen A. Smith for accusing him of soft peddling racial dynamics. Okay, so Don said that he's coddling white people. Okay, and in the Renee Good case in Minnesota. Now, you know Stephen A. has been on my mind and out of my mouth since he started going into politics, and I told you that I didn't like it. And more people, as Stephen A. is talking about running for president, more and more people don't like it either. Okay, so the accusation, the black commentator sometimes feels pressure to translate injustice in a way that's comfortable for white audiences, and Stephen A. is definitely doing that. Now, what I like about Stephen A. is that he's not backing down, and he is taking this on in a different manner. Now, I do feel that he's coddling these audience, coddling white people. I do feel like he's doing it. I told you that before, way before this instance, but he is gaining crazy momentum. He's on with Bill O'Reilly and Chris Cuomo, and they have great conversations, and they swear Stephen A. is the best thing going in the black community. But that raises a bigger question. Are we informing the public or managing perception? And that's the real part that we have to look at. What part does Stephen A. play? And, AB, shout out to AB Butler. He's out in South Carolina with his mother and taking care of his mother, Miss Mozella. She had a successful surgery. She's 90 years young. She had a successful surgery the other day. So AB is there by her side. So I'll do the G check-in today, sir. So this is a G check. The G check here is the simple fact that Stephen A. is jumping into new territories. Now, do we tell people that they should limit themselves? Do we say, you should be a full course limit? No, no. But when you're jumping out and trying to be the authority amongst people who already, have been in this space long before you even started thinking about it, it becomes everybody to everybody around. It becomes something that we have to worry about. So the G check here is that Stephen A., check yourself, because people, they're going to consider, Stephen A. was saying, people don't like me. Of course, people like me. People love me, because he's thinking that he's going to run for president. Now, I can see him running for president, right? Running for president and making money, right? Because, politics, people, is about making money for certain. Some people run when they know that they're not going to win, but they know that they're going to collect a lot of money in the process, so they go ahead and do that. So now, where do you stand, okay, in this? Do you think that Stephen A. should be voicing his opinion and jumping on the conservative bandwagon and abandoning what Don Lemon is saying, the true voice. Who knows? Okay, so let's talk about Minnesota ICE and protests. Okay, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison. I had invited him to one of my events. He didn't come. I had invited him to one of my events a while ago. I was at a place with him, and then I invited him back, and then he became the Attorney General of Minnesota since then. And so he is under fire for the Minnesota debacle going on out there. But he's suing the Trump administration and alleging excessive and aggressive ICE enforcement in immigrant communities. Okay, so what do you guys think? Do you think that, sending ICE everywhere, Trump gets mad, he sends the ICE and starts rounding up all the immigrants in the communities and says, you got to go today? I mean, I guess it's something that we have to deal with because, people's lives are being uprooted out of, it's not out of nowhere. Trump vowed to do this. We've never seen this before, at least in my time. We've never seen people come, rip people out and ship them away to another country. And at the same time, protests are intensifying. And the media figures like Joy Reid argue that some white protesters use privilege as insulation, not solidarity. So in this situation of Megan Good, in this situation of Renee Good, the young lady who was shot in Minnesota, she was supposed to be a trained protester and using her white privilege to help the rest of the people. And that's what everybody, and I don't like that because you're giving white privilege more white privilege, if you understand what I'm saying. It's like, I obviously white privilege exists, but then when you say, oh, we need you to come out and protect us with your white privilege. I don't think that that's the message that we want to convey to the white people, right? That continue on with your white privilege. We don't have any privilege in this country, and we do, and I think Charlemagne the God, shout out to him, wrote the book Black Privilege. And I think privilege is something that you create, something that is earned, right? You earn the privilege to do things. I don't know. I'm not really, so anyway, so let's ask the hard question no one wants to touch. Is it fair that undocumented immigrants live outside the law while citizens are expected to comply with it without exception? Now, this is my big thing, and this is the G check. In the Black community, we so often have to go through all of these laws. We're getting in trouble for this. The gardener who was choked to death in Staten Island when the early death started over cigarettes, over selling illegal cigarettes. So if the man can die over illegal cigarettes, how do you then say, well, I know that it's illegal to walk across the border. It's illegal to get here without paperwork or stay, past your visa. That is illegal. But we're going to consider keeping you because you're here. No, we want the same privilege. And I think that if we continue to allow people to pick and choose what is against the law, and don't get me wrong, I have a lot of compassion, but I look at this community and I say, this community took advantage of us when maybe Biden and Kamala Harris said, this is your big chance to get to America and make America different and make it open for everybody got here. Now, these people came and they took their opportunity. Shout out to my guy, Anthony, who said to me, listen, Jineea, he said to me, listen, he said, they walked through swamps. They went over barbed wires. They got their babies on their neck to get here to a better life. Let them in. Now, are we adding that, when we let them in, our taxes go up, our hospitals get overtaken? Do we add all of that in? And when I say about the hospitals, meaning that we're sharing space. Now we should be sharing space on the United States plane and across the world. We should be doing that. But are we always the ones, the Black community I'm referring to, are we always the ones that have to back down and stand down on that? And we the ones that always have to say, oh, we have to think bigger and brighter. And while these people are knowingly coming in to take jobs that we once had or that we qualify for, now they're coming in to work harder, to do better than us. Now, I think that we should just up our ante and up our game. Don't get me wrong. I don't blame them for that. But if we're saying, oh, come on in, and then they're going to continue to speak Spanish, not hire us on the job that we co-signed you to be on. No, it's not as prim and pristine as they would like to say. So that's my G check there, and so I'm still up in the air about that. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Put it in the comments how you feel about that, because I'm still like this. So anyway, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, former Mayor Eric Adams, and I told you about him when he was in office, okay? And I'm glad that I stuck to my guns. Like I said, shout out to Eric Adams, but he's in the news today. He's only what are we in, the 14th day of the new year? He's in the 14th day of the new year, and he's already back in the news. Okay, he can't stay out. So New York City is no stranger to controversy, but this week the spotlight is back on Mayor Eric Adams. Allegations involving a failed New York City token initiative, questions about public funds, and now viral confrontation on public transportation raised serious concerns about leadership, accountability, and credibility. Now, from what I just seen, I think that he may have needed to stay under that indictment, and I think that he was guilty. If all of his people went to jail, okay, Tony Herbert, a community man, was just arrested. I believe it was yesterday, with saying that he took thousands of dollars during the Eric Adams during their campaign, right? During their I don't even know what it's called, their mayor run while Eric Adams was the mayor. And so whether criminal or not, optics matter and public trust is fragile. So now what you'll see is that Eric Adams, he had a token. He raised about $850 million for this NYC token that he's holding up, the token and everything like that. I wish I had a token. I didn't even get a chance to get a token. Okay, tokens, they just did away with tokens, Mayor Adams. That's maybe what we should have known about what you were really saying about the token. Like, there's no such thing as a token in New York City. So Mayor Adams tried to roll out a cryptocurrency token, and he generated $850 million. Ah, there he is. How are you, cousin? What? Why are you shaking your head?
You know why? Cause
Huh? Is she okay? Not yet?
why you sound so low?
I'm not low. I don't know. You're fine. I'm not. Mine is. I don't. Let me see. What's happening over there? Give us an update. Give us an update. And 'cause I'm in the middle of a soliloquy here. We're about to go to a break. But give us an update.
I don't want to do that on this.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So I'm just now talking about Mayor Eric Adams and
The airport scene.
yeah, the airport scene. I didn't even get to the airport scene yet. Right now, you got 800. He's got $850 million. He did a token for $850 million. Then about 30 to 90 minutes later, he sold his portion of it and crashed the whole thing. And so a bunch of people made out with a lot of money, and a bunch of people lost about $5 million a piece, on their investment to that. And then there is the airport scene where we see Eric Adams walking walking down the corridor of the airplane, and then some lady is saying, "Oh, Eric Adams, I'm glad you're out of there." And he said, "Listen, I don't want to get black on you in here," and then he made me nervous because he turned around, and that turnaround could have been an assault. So I think that he needs to really focus on being cool, right? Because he's saying, "I'm not the mayor no more." So he's letting people know, don't run up on me or I get Brooklyn on you. Now, the whole time that he was the mayor, he was saying that he was from Queens. And so now he gets out in the streets, he going Brooklyn. He's going postal Brooklyn. So he's got to be careful, because I think that, that is going to be a copycat thing to tease him. And now that New York City is left in the hands of Mayor Mamdani, this is not it. So we're going to go to a break real quick, and we're going to come back with Cousin here, and we'll talk about the G-check.
The G-check people, I'm not dressed well because I'm down here with my mom's in the hospital in South Carolina. So
I already gave them the one too. So we'll be right back here on Millennium News 24.
Hello viewers, you are watching Millennium News 24. America and global villages seen America independence built by immigrants, manufacturers, roads, highways, educations, healthcare, IT, scientists, space, business development to all thousands of multimedia and all major social media platforms and news network in America. Millennium News 24, one of truthfully news networks in America and global news organizations. Please watch, follow and subscribe. We are in iOS and Android devices, Roku, Amazon, Apple devices, all smart TV, globally Horizon satellite, social media Millennium News 24, Millennium TV 24. Website www.millenniumnews24.com and www.millenniumtv24.com. Thank you.
And we are back here on the
yes,
New
we
American
are.
Perspective here on Millennium News 24, and we've got so much to talk about today. So, Cousin, what did you think when you seen Mayor Eric Adams jumping out his skin at the airport? What was your thoughts? What's the G-check?
Well, the G-check with that, Eric Adams, hold yourself down, because at the end of the day, everybody, because he's not that mayor no more, people feel the way they feel. Yeah, they're gonna be attacking you. One monkey see, another monkey do.
Right.
And you gotta remember, you can't fall into the trick bag, because everybody play the gangster from a man to a female. They play that gangster role. Then when you do something to them, you got to always remember this, Eric Adams. This is a G-check. And take this G-check and put it in your pocket. Right now, you ain't nothing but a check to somebody. So do not fall into that trap.
Big.
That's a G-check.
That's a pure G-check right there. And that is for you, Mayor Eric Adams, because remember, did you see when he turned around and said, "Don't let me get Brooklyn on you"? If that girl would have stopped, he could have got an assault charge. Now, she scurried along because she didn't want nothing with him, but I thought, he just touched her. That was enough for me. I would have hit the wall. I'm hitting the wall. I'm going back. I'm going back on that one, Mayor Adams. So you get Brooklyn on me. Like Cousin said, I am going to court, and I'm going to go ahead and get that check. You heard it here first on Millennium News 24. So let's go a little deeper. Hakeem Jeffries, Hillary and Bill Clinton. The Congress, the Clintons, and power. Now, the House Majority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, you know Hawk. I got his movements down now. He'd be like, You know, he's going with his movements. And I'm hearing that he's thinking about running for president. Why not? They need somebody on the Democratic front. But House Majority Leader Hakeem Jeffries reportedly flipped 17 Republicans on bipartisan legislation, showing that deals still happen when politics get quiet. Meanwhile, Bill and Hillary Clinton have yet to comply with congressional subpoenas, fueling speculations about accountability at the highest level. The message Americans are receiving is simple. Rules feel optional when you are powerful. Now, we all have seen some of the Epstein files that were released, and we've seen your boy Bill Clinton, lamped up and laid up. So what's our thoughts on that across the country, across the world? What are our thoughts? So now they asked him to come and speak about it, him and Hill. And they have not shown up for the subpoenas. Now, so are they above the law? Are they going to put them in jail? Are they going to hold them in contempt? What is the G check?
What the G check is, we really need to see the real files. All this, throwing things off to, get your mind off of that. Then they'll bring Puff in the picture for a minute and just the remix. But the G check is, we really need to see the real files. Those are files
But what we've seen is we've seen Bill Clinton clearly with kids. Bill Clinton clearly clearly with Epstein. Clearly. Now they're going after Trump. They've said nothing about Clinton. They've not even talked about the fact that he's not showing up for court. That's what we're talking about, cousin.
But the G check is because
you like Bill Clinton too.
The G check is, Bill Clinton, as they say in Harlem, he half and half, tea and lemonade in a remix. So.
Like I'm saying, he is caught red-handed, and they will not. We're not getting anything out of cousin. I hear him too. They're chiming in. He's not ready to G check the real.
No. Listen. I want to G check Bill Clinton and them. Well, they did that crack law. This is where the crack law came from.
Everybody in jail.
Yeah, so I don't hold no guns on Bill Clinton, cause real talk. Bill Clinton came to Harlem and ran the price up and ran the black people out of there.
I remember that day. I was in Harlem on 111th.
So, don't think, I don't want to G check it. I am going to G check it.
Well, we're about to move on and you haven't done it yet. We're about to move on and you haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I did do it.
Okay. That was it, ladies and gentlemen. That was it. So let's go on to global pressure, Iran, tariffs, and blackouts. So we've got Donald Trump, and the Trump administration has announced an additional 25% tariff on nations assisting Iran as reports emerge of the internet blackouts and growing civilian casualties. The global chessboard is moving fast, and civilians are often the pawns. And so there are many people that have died during this Iran, the protests. The American community is on the side of the protesters. But let me G check this for Trump, because we're supporting the protesters in Iran, right? We're supporting that Iran and the protesters, they, do right by this community. But we are not even considering what the protesters here in America are saying, and that are saying about us, that are saying about Trump. Trump is on their side, the protester side over there, but not here. Okay. So we really got to look at how that is operating. Okay. What is really going on in Iran? I'm not sure what what the true fight is over there. They're trying to get, these dictators and these terrorists out of the government over there. Trump might be swooping in. I don't think they can get Iran's government like they did Maduro, but I'm sure that Trump and the team and Hegseth and the team are trying to sweep them up and put them next to Maduro in Brooklyn. So what's your thoughts there, cousin?
Listen, I think it's a G check because we going to everybody else country worrying about their backyard and their grass, and we not worrying about ours. We got ICE running around here killing people, but it's all right. We cool with that, right? We cool with that. This is a G check. We cool with that.
We didn't get to it. We didn't get to it yet. We're not cool with it. We don't know what the people are. Yes, but we with that. I'm with that.
But me personally on the G check with that, it's like how much money you want, Trump. That's all I want to know. You don't care about lives, nothing. How much money do you
showing that
want?
he cares about lives because he is supporting the Iran community and putting a 25% tariff on China and Russia and anybody who's doing business and fueling these problems in Iran. So he's showing that he does care about people. Now, does he care about the American people the same way? I think that's what the real question is.
The real question is, listen to me, American people. Let me say this to Iran and what other country Donald Trump is coming intact. Me personally, Donald, you running around here creating all these beef. Once you bring your kids to fight this war where everybody else kid don't have to suffer for what you creating.
He's got 5 kids, so still gonna have.
That's all. Listen, he got a White House full of people that work for him, is a part of his team, and every last one of them got kids. So I'm just saying this because we so global, we so around the world. Only thing I'm saying, people, when this attack going on, just remember, it's not us. So you can't hit everybody. Y'all need to know who to handle. Please don't bring that to our backyard.
Yes. And
that's a G check.
That's a G check. Let's talk about our backyard, NYC, NYC politics, Mom Dami and Hochul. They tried to pull one this week. Zorhan, Mom Dami, and
your mic sound down, cuz.
Okay, but I'm okay. You probably can't hear me right. Because my mic is good over here.
Okay, go ahead.
So Zorhan Mamdani continues reshaping his political team in New York while signaling resistance to federal ICE cooperation. Governor Kathy Hochul delivered the state of the state, focusing on public safety, housing, affordability, and infrastructure. But critics say the enforcement clarity is still missing. So we don't know where they're going with this. Is Kathy Hochul, going to raise the taxes along with what Zorhan wants to do? Now, Zorhan wants to create bathrooms across New York City for everybody. He wants to take the public funds and say, well, we need bathrooms. You shouldn't be outside without a bathroom. But critics are saying that this is another socialism piece to where who's going to use the bathroom if the bathrooms are open to the public? And why don't the people in McDonald's allow people to go in? Because vagrants, people do all kinds of stuff outside on the street. So Zorhan is looking to build a better New York, but how does he do it when New York is going to continue to fight him tooth and nail? That's to you, cousin.
Listen, let me G-check this. The G-check to me about the greedy governor. She want to run everything up. It's no ands in the butt. It don't take 20 minutes to say the greed is the greed. They want to just keep robbing us. And we keep letting the governor, these people is in position to keep taxing us. It's like the governor and her team is nothing but vampires.
Yeah, she did a state of the state last night. It sounded good, to my understanding. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a break and we're going to come right back here on Millennium News 24 and talk about what's going on in NYC and the state of New York. And this is your New American Perspective and your G-Check. And we'll be right back.
Be right back.
Welcome to Millennium News 24, your trusted source for accurate, unbiased news. We're here to bring you the stories that matter most from America and around the world with integrity and a commitment to truth. In today's world, where misinformation can easily spread, having access to reliable news is more important than ever. At Millennium News 24, we aim to cut through the noise by delivering clear, fact-based reporting. Whether you're following major events or looking for in-depth analysis, we are here to serve you with transparency and respect for all communities regardless of color, wealth, or religion. This beautiful America was built by the resilience of its people, immigrants, entrepreneurs, doctors, and everyday individuals working together to create something great. It's this spirit that inspires us to provide you with news that's inclusive, honest, and relevant. We believe that informed citizens are the foundation of a strong society, and we strive to give you the knowledge you need to make a difference. From breaking news to insightful features, we bring you comprehensive coverage on politics, economics, health, culture, and much more. We believe that everyone deserves access to the truth, and we are proud to be a part of a global network that connects people through information. Stay informed by following us on your devices, including iOS, Android, Roku, Amazon, Apple TV, and Smart TVS. And for global access, we're also available on Horizon Satellite. Visit us at www.millenniumtv24.com or www.millenniumnews24.com to stay updated. At Millennium News 24, our mission is to promote unity, understanding, and progress in a rapidly changing world. Join us as we work to inspire positive action through the power of truth. Thank you for watching. Follow us, subscribe, and stay informed.
And we are back with that powerful Millennium News commercial, and we are back here on the New American Perspective in your G-Check. I'm here with Cuzzo, A.B. Butler, and we are talking about Governor Hochul and her antics. And so she is running in 2026. She's up for re-election this year. So,
it ain't going to happen.
Well, somebody's got to be able to run against her and get her numbers throughout the whole state. And see, it's not that the people, if people don't vote, and if our community doesn't get involved, and if our community just hands it over to her, and they're pricing us out in every way in New York City, congestion pricing, the toll here, the toll there, you got the 25 mile per hour, everything that's going on, everything that's happening. If they don't continue doing this? Are the people going to vote for her? I know she cannot get my vote. Even as a woman, she just can't get my vote. I don't know what she could do to get my vote. The Republican counterpart, Elise Stefanik, she dropped out. I really didn't check to see what was her issue and why she dropped out so quick, because she came in strong. Oh, I'm running against Governor Hochul, and then now we don't have anybody else. So who's going to beat her? And if it's going to be a Democrat, they've got to beat her in June. Do you understand? So that's too quick to get everybody in the state. So she might win again.
A G check, because while she backed out, they probably put a suitcase on her porch.
Mm. Oh,
That's a G check.
That's a G check. Something happened because she was going strong. Oh, I'm going up against her and whoop-de-whoop. And I'm not going to say that that's what happened, but that's a good way to put it. So let's go into faith, power, and accountability. I don't know if you heard or know Donnie McClurkin. He is from the gospel church community, and he was recently pulled up on sexual charges. Let me see. The faith community is confronting a painful question after sexual assault allegations surfaced against gospel icon Donnie McClurkin. McClurkin has previously spoken publicly about personal struggles with sexuality, but struggle is not a scandal and faith is not immunity. We must allow investigations to run their course while protecting victims and the integrity of the faith institutions. So I don't know if you got to see that Drewski, he put out a little skit. Yeah, a skit. Did you see him he was being the pastor at the church, the mega pastor, and how they do it? And it was funny. I go to church every week, love my community, love my church. Oh, did you pay your tithes? Did you do this and did you do that? And I thought that it was great antics. And I think that the church community needs to look into his interpretation of how people see us. Right? Because, people see that sometimes and they're pushed away. And so a lot of people went on Drewski, and then you have Donnie McClurkin, who's got these sexual assault allegations from a man. A man saying that he assaulted him and things of that nature. And we don't want to see any of that in the faith communities or in the church, but it is happening. And so what do? What's the G check?
What's the G check? You gotta remember this, right? A lot of preachers was hustlers. A lot of preachers was pimps. A lot of them, yes, a lot of them was in situations. So you gotta remember this. They human. You gotta remember the G check. They human, right? But it's not gonna stop where these preachers chasing a woman or chasing a guy. That's in their blood now. So it's like, yeah. It's a lot of,
there's a lot of
let me G check this, cuz
in the church community. There's a lot.
And let me say this, and let me say clearly. The chasing the man in the religion, it ain't just in church, it's in every religion. Somebody, you will find one or two people doing as they said the guy is doing.
Yeah, well, yeah. And then you got Tyler Perry. He's got charges up on him. And, he's been out there with Bishop T.D. Jakes laying hands on people and then turning around and then being part of the sexual assault community.
But you got to, let me G check this too, cuz this go out to the women and the man. A lot of dudes out here is suffering, don't have money. You got to be real careful because people is money hungry. They don't care if they break a person down just for a check. And you got to be real careful because that's what it is out here. People just trying to destroy a person's name, what they built, what they created. You got the church screwing a man. You got everybody on the internet know everybody's a snitch, that they've been in everybody's cases, going to dig cases. It's like we came to social media made it so easy for a person to try to destroy somebody's character.
Right.
You get where I'm coming from? Because Tyler Perry, okay, you know he's this, you know he that, but when he don't give you this part, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. You know, and good example, Mike Tyson. Oh, you ain't gonna walk me downstairs after you burn my back? Okay, you go talk to the girlfriends, because you gotta remember, everything before a case come low, it always got a co-signer. Yeah, go do that, girl. Go do that, homeboy.
Yeah.
So that's a real G check out here because people don't care. They don't care if like, oh, he did that, but you cool with that. You cool with saying, this man raped me. So why it took you so long to say this man did this
It's
cause?
hard. It's hard to say stuff.
Nah, it's
It's
not hard.
very hard. I've stuff that I have not said. There's stuff bottled up within me that I have not said, that I have mulled over in my mind. Do you tell? Who do you tell? And what happens when you tell? So I don't want to, push on people and say, well, why did it take so long? Because, the reason for telling has to be that reason, because it already happened, like you said, and people have already dealt with it, and people don't want to deal with it again, don't want to judge it up when they know that the person is going to lie. And then how do you prove that this person is not lying? And how do you now put yourself out there and say, oh, I'm not lying, he is. And even though we know that the person is probably telling the truth of something, it's just like, these men are
It's
horrible.
like,
Let me
once
say that.
again,
These
it's
men
all
are
about
horrible.
it's all about the G check. It's all about greed. That's all it's about.
Okay.
Cause you gotta remember this, right? You got a low status church guy. It's probably doing the same thing he doing, but he's not big enough. He don't have enough money. So they gonna keep doing it till he get to a point. Now all of a sudden, let me drop the ball that this guy did that, but you sat right there, enjoy. So this is what I'm saying. If somebody did something to you at that moment, why you ain't beat him up?
You can't do that all the time. And even if you struggled, again, you gotta get through that moment right there. That moment that's happening right there. You have to get through it, and you have to put yourself back together. You can't fall apart. It's so many factors that people don't understand, that men are very insensitive to, by the way. Men are very insensitive to it. I told somebody, something happened, they said, oh, that didn't happen to you. And it's just like, and they look at me and they think, well, you're going to fight. Yes, I am going to fight. But it's hard, cousin. I'm telling you, it's a hard thing, and it happens. Things happen. But so let's continue to move on, as we're about to go to another break. But our prayers go out to Corrupt from the West Coast, who was hospitalized this week. He was hospitalized. We seen him last time I see him. He didn't really look good. I think he was on the Drink Champs the last time I seen him with Daz Dillinger, and he looked a little, fragile right there. But Daz Dillinger has sent out a message saying, please pray for Corrupt. He's been hospitalized. He needs our prayer. So from the hip hop community, East Coast, we shout out to you, Corrupt. Salute to you, Corrupt. And, our prayers go to you in the hospital. So let's take a break real quick and we'll come back with our last 15 minutes. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. Zoe Saldana, L.A. Reid. You hear what happened with that? So we've got so much to talk about, and we'll be right back here on Millennium News 24 with the Butler Gang and the New American Perspective and your weekly G-Check.
Hello viewers, you are watching Millennium News 24. America and global villages seen America independence built by immigrants, manufacturers, roads, highways, educations, healthcare, IT, scientists, space business development to all thousands of multimedia and all major social media platforms and news network in America. Millennium News 24, one of truthfully news networks in America and global news organizations. Please watch, follow and subscribe. We are in iOS and Android devices, Roku, Amazon, Apple devices, all smart TV, globally Horizon satellite, social media Millennium News 24, Millennium TV 24. Website www.millenniumnews24.com and www.millenniumtv24.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we're back here on Millennium News 24. I'm your host, Jineea Butler, and that's my co-host,
A.B. Butler.
And we are the Butler Gang here on the New American Perspective and your weekly G-Check. So we've been talking about a lot today, but let's say something good for a change. Zoe Saldana. Have you seen Colombiana?
Huh? No.
No, you haven't seen Colombiana. So you know who Zoe Saldana is, right? She's the one that played in Avatar, and she's the mixed race woman. I'm claiming her. I'm giving her some black cred, even though Saldana is something Spanish, but she has quietly become the highest grossing actor of all time. Shout out to her, starring in multiple blockbuster franchises. A reminder that consistency beats controversy. And so she has been in a bunch of movies. She's been in The End Game. She's been in Avatar. Avatar just came out. She's got another one, Fire and something. I'm sorry that I don't know the name right off of hand, but she's got, she's been in all these major blockbusters, and now she just beat Scarlett Johansson out as the highest grossing actor. They don't call the women actresses, they call them actors of all time. So she is in the house with that. Shout out to her. But meanwhile, L.A. Reid has been ordered to pay a substantial settlement to Drew Dixon, reinforcing the reckoning in the music industry is definitely ongoing. What do you want to say about that, cousin?
G-Check, man. All these dudes in this music industry that robbing all these artists, they need to stop it and stop being greedy. Like X said, stop being greedy. Give to the needy. How much money?
Right. So L.A. Reid, he settled out of court. I'm gonna settle out of court. He said, I don't want all of this information coming out, even if it's not true. And obviously there's something to it. She must have had something on him. We will never know. And then let me ask you, the viral resurfaced footage involving Dipset has reigniting street debates. So did you see Freaky Zeke, Jim Jones? Freaky Zeke got mad. Jim Jones the other day had called Cameron soft, had called Freaky
Dame,
Zeke soft, and Dame Dash, everything. So then Freaky said, "Oh, you want to call me soft?" Cameron has said Freaky. Freaky was on one of our panels back in the day too. Shout out Freaky Zeke. Thank you for that. So so Freaky came back like, "I'm soft and I've been the worker of the Dipset gang. I'm soft." And so he put out a video of Jim Jones, and basically Jim Jones was about to fight Dame Dash, but Jim Jones had his little goons in the street trying to fight Dame, and Dame was like, "Why don't you give me a fair one?" This is where I say the Dame Dash is the realest, and he's been who he said he has been for the duration of his time, because Dame was like, "Why you won't give me a fair one? Why you got your boys out here trying to fight me? If I'm going out like this, then I'm going out like this and we fighting. But I know you are a fake gangster and you ain't no you." He said, "You are a TV gangster, a rapper gangster." And he blew him up, and Jim Jones said, "Yeah, but they're gonna fight for me." So Freaky Zeke blew up Jim Jones. I think that it hurt a little bit of his credibility when he's running around talking about he did all the work, and he said, "You a tough rapper. That's what you are." Dame called him out. Freaky had the footage and leaked the footage, and now Jim is back in the news with going on the soft comments. So
this is a G check, guys. Once again, to the rap world, to the industry. Once again, is young black man come from the projects, get some money. Now we back, we get to a different status. Now we want to go right back to the ghetto and destroy the same people that you
we made it
started
out
with. You get where I'm coming from? So me personally, what they need to do, it's like, it's basically what they doing is staying in the media. Cause press, it don't matter how soft Jim Jones is, they say it don't matter how Dame Dash, they don't Cam, they getting press. Everybody talking about them. So when you get press, you get looks. They keep getting looks. It don't matter. You know what I mean? We look at it like, oh man, this and that. But it's looks. But at the end of the day, they could do whatever they want. At the end of the day, ain't none of them went to the grave yet. And that's how they should leave it. Because it's like brothers and sisters. They not getting along, but they sitting here fighting on everything. But at the end of the day, it's not worth it. It's like, why do we work so hard to go in the studio, get a deal, and go back to the nigga?
Well, because that's what they really only knew from the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what they really only knew from the beginning.
Yeah, but still, it don't matter what you know from the beginning, because you should be ahead of the game because you know from the beginning what you went through. So we, as a black community, we always make excuses for everybody. Mm-hmm. Everybody. It's a G check. Mm-hmm. We make excuses for everybody. But we sit here like every time you turn on Instagram or any social media, this is what you see from a black man to a black man. Everybody want to record a person destroying somebody that look just like you. Mm-hmm. But when somebody else come around, you want to feel that, Nah, they too light skinned. I ain't gonna do this. I ain't gonna do that. But when it come to us, we want to beef. You know what I mean? It's like you gotta come to a point where enough is enough, B. You want to sell your parents out. You want to sell yourself, but enough is enough, man. It's like the industry ain't like it used to be. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it was fights back in the days, but Kumo D, Busy B, LL, Ice T. Look at them. They still on TV. They still getting money. They speak. They laugh about when they was kids doing the same thing, West Coast, East Coast. But it was about money. It was about getting paid. These days, they got all the money. The young kids got all the money, and they don't know what to do with it. And you got everybody around you, the yes man type. Oh, homie, yeah, let's go hard. Which one is there gonna say, yo, Jim, it's not worth it. Walk away from that, man. We getting paper. Because this is what I tell all the hip hop artists and the R&B kids and the actors, the football players. If you could give the lawyer 100, 200 millions to fight your case, but you can't give your mother a dime, you can't give your homie a dime, but you'll give a court everything they gave to you right back. That's a G check.
That's a pure G check. And thank you for that, cousin, because that's what needs to happen. Stop it.
Stop
Gentlemen.
it.
And for now on, I'm not going to feed anything into it. We're going to use our voice to check their G and stop this nonsense, because we cannot continue like this. You're right. This is the urban reset. This is the year of the urban reset, 2026. And we're going to do right by one another. I had a conversation this morning with my great friend Bernie Klein of the Hasidic Jewish community, and we're talking about what they do in their community to keep their community together. And in their community, I think this is a great thing that they do, is that they are the ambulance and the EMT, and they get to their people in less than a minute in their community and get them to the hospital. They get there to their community, so they're not dying. They don't have 10 minutes, to wait, or, worried about somebody getting there. Less than a minute, they are on the scene for their people in their community. And that's the type of energy that we definitely have to bring. Now,
Let me G check this, cuz you're 150% right. But at the end of the day, they got their own hospital, they got their own school, they got their own police, they got all of that. So we don't know how to say, because we make millions and millions of dollars, as soon as we get the deal, what we do, we go give it to them. You don't want to come back to a person that look like you and say, let me find this young dude that he's invested, he do this, he's smart on this. Yo, here, invest this.
Right.
We don't do that. We'll go right to the Diamond District and spend $300,000 on a chain, on a watch. But we can't, when a brother like mine see you and say, yo, I'm going through this, man. Oh, here go $100.
Right. They
It's
start
like
feeling
real
like they're
talk.
going to have
This
to
is
take
a
care of the
G
whole
check
community.
for real.
That's a
That's
pure
what
G
we
check.
really need to check for real.
Yeah.
That right there. Why do you go to the Diamond District and give them millions and millions of dollars?
So they can raise their kids in their communities, and because that's how selfish we are in our community. And so let me just say this as we're closing out: from the streets to Senate, from churches to courtrooms, America is being asked to choose honestly over comfort. Accountability cannot be selective. Compassion cannot ignore law, and leadership cannot hide from truth. I'm Jineea Butler.
I'm
That's
A.B.
my co-host,
Butler.
and this is the New American Perspective with your weekly G-Check. And that is a G-Check. And we'll see you next week. Mother Mosella, we are with you. We are praying. We're going to get you up on your feet, young lady, at ease, and let's go. And prayer warriors, unite. I'll see you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, at the Penthouse for the Dream Amplified. Tap into the comments if you want to come on out. So look forward to seeing everybody. I'll see you and talk to you soon, cousin. And we'll keep this going. Thank you again here on Millennium News 24.
G-Check. Oh.